I'm Erica. I'm a city kid, and I want to be a farmer. So I'm in the process of figuring out how I can make a sustainable. Hold on with the lettuce for another second. It's such beautiful lettuce, isn't it? That's what I want to figure out, how to make a living growing beautiful and useful things like this lettuce. That picture was taken at Almost Urban Vegetables. Next one. Where I spent a summer interning with Bruce Barry and Marilyn Firth. Bruce is over there. You can say hi to him over lunch. I've learned so much from working with them. I spent the full season living and working on their farm. And then this summer I realized there were some things I think that they've taught me about running a market garden business that weren't going to sink in until I was responsible for making some decisions on my own. So I decided to do something scary and run my own little mini market garden business so I could learn from making my own mistakes. I wasn't prepared to move out of the city just yet, and so I needed something that would work with this as my main mode of transportation. So I bought myself a bike trailer and borrowed 4 backyards in St.Vital where I could put in gardens, and away I went. Backyards have been a really great option for me as a way to access land. There's water there already, and they're pretty private, so the deer and the rabbits still get in, no problem, but in terms of people wandering through and helping themselves, that wasn't an issue. And there was no bureaucracy involved. It just meant sitting down at the kitchen table with the Ford families and figuring out an arrangement that worked for them in terms of how I would use their space and how they could help themselves to the vegetables. So I chose St.Vital because I know some great folks who live there, like this guy, Mike Belshaw. That's where I grew up, and so I've got a network of old neighbors and family friends and church connections from that part of town. People who I knew would support me and who weren't necessarily already tapped into the local food movement. So this is Mike helping me move topsoil from his front yard to the back where I put in a garden. Next one. And that's how much we got delivered. If there was a thought bubble over my head, there would be like, whoa, what am I getting myself into here? At that point, I was okay, there's no turning back now. So the Belshaws, if you want to go to the next one, had just put in geothermal heating, so their backyard was a big, muddy expanse. So we split the cost of some topsoil, and I'm really glad that Mike suggested renting a bobcat. He moved it from the front to the back, and I spread it until it looked like that. And then eventually like that, and then like that by midsummer. It was a really beautiful place to hang out. This is another one of my yards. The one you just saw was probably the biggest. This one was the smallest. I had a few carrots at the front and a few other things in the backyard. I don't have pictures of the other 2, but between those 4 gardens, I grew as much as I could, and then Thursdays from the end of June to the end of September, I set up this little stand at the end of the Belshaw's driveway once a week. I got a really encouraging response. There's one stand. And I would say the limiting factor was the amount of vegetables I could produce and not the customer base, for sure. I got a great group of regulars. You just met some of them a moment ago. Thanks to this community for teaching people words like local and sustainable and young entrepreneur. Those things just rolled off people's tongues. I was amazed. I wasn't, this was the only kind of language I was using, local fresh vegetables. And, but folks knew what they were looking for, and they were so excited to find me there. Yeah, next. So by the end of the season, I was still smiling. There were some challenges for sure. As a novice grower, I've still got lots to learn. Traveling by bike made bringing in things like mulch and compost kind of tricky. You know, maybe it wasn't quite the ideal combination of backyards in terms of sun exposure and size and proximity to each other. I didn't pay myself this year, but I did make back more or less what I put into it. So my annual costs like seeds and packaging and that sort of thing, and also the more capital investments like the bike trailer and the salad spinner and the table and the bins and all of that. So I feel like I learned so much that it feels like a success to me. And yeah, given how excited people were to find me sort of in the middle of nowhere, and what a great community of regulars I built up who supported me all season long. And all the underused urban land I see out there, I think there's just tremendous potential for urban agriculture in Winnipeg. Thanks.